Home of the prodigal son, young Chad Townsend. And Chad Townsend plays on, plays to the whistle, kicks away for Valentine home. Townsend, brilliant.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Chad Townsend Show. If you're new here, please make sure you do subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. Like this video and drop a comment below. Just all you need to do is right now, if you're watching on YouTube, very quickly, very quickly. Thank you very much. And if you're listening on the audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, drop us a rate and review. Greatly appreciated here on the show. We've got a massive show today covering everything trending in the NRL, the round 27 fallout, some of the games that meant everything, some games meant absolutely nothing. But we're going to talk about it all today. And like we always do, we bring in Victor. He's going to talk about it as well. How was your weekend?
Great, mate. It was good. Pretty uneventful one, but we're into finals now, so I'm excited.
And the weather's starting.
The weather's back.
Oh,
the weather's back.
Oh,
I think it's 24 degrees today.
Geez, it feels good to have some sun on the skin and some salt water.
Yes, did you go for a swim over
I
the
did.
weekend?
I went for a swim on Friday morning. It was fantastic.
Oh, stop it.
It was fantastic.
I got to get in there.
I'm looking forward to the weather. This is the best time of the year. I mean, NFL's started. It's we record Mondays actually, and it's been up early watching the NFL. So plenty happening there. Obviously, finals. You know, weather's starting to warm up. Daylight savings starts in a couple of weeks' time. So it does not get any better.
That means twilight golf.
It means twilight golf. Yeah. So plenty happening, and also plenty happening in the content space as well for us. We're doing some stuff with our Players Golf Club. Obviously, we've got our Players Club Championships coming up Friday, October 17th. A quick plug there. If you want to come play individual Stableford tournament, first prize is an Amped Bros electric bike. Insane. We've got huge prizes from TaylorMade, from a host of other sponsors on the day. We've got a stack of NRL plays. So head over to playersgolfclub.com.au, get your tickets. Anything to add there, Victor, before we move on?
No, not really. Do you want to tell them what we're filming today as well?
We're filming, we'll tell the guys we're filming a new series for our Players Golf Club channel on YouTube. And last year we filmed Breaking 80. This year it's something different. But I want to hold on to what it's. I want to hold on to the name at the moment and what we're actually doing. But it involves guests, so stay tuned for that coming up. Let's have a look at today's show. We've got the fallout from this weekend. We've got our team of the year. Put together a 1 to 13, my best 13 for the year. Went through it all this morning. We've got some fan questions as well. We're going to have a look at what's trending right now, Monday, the 8th of September. And that is the NRL ladder. Let's get straight into it. The season's over. The regular season's over. The new season begins now. This is where it counts, but we're going to have a look at how the season played out. Of course, the best way to do that is going over the NRL ladder. Now, the Canberra Raiders, well, they wrapped up the minor premiership last week. They finished first, 44 points, 19 wins, 5 losses. Like a huge season for the Raiders. Some experts did tip this team to come last. I'd love to see those experts. Who are they? Is there any that we know of?
Let me have a look.
You know what? I've actually thought about what I'm going to do now that I'm sort of doing content and media next year. Because you know when you get asked about your predictions for Wooden Spoon and predictions for grand final winner at the start of the year, and I know that if I was playing and someone tipped us to come last, it would fire me up. Like it used to sort of tick me off. So we'll see how that goes next year and if I actually go ahead and do with it. 44 points for the Raiders. A huge win. 654 points, 506 again, a differential of 148. Home record 11-1. Like, that's an absolute fortress down there at GIO. They've had a number of players play some of the best football of their careers, and that's what you need for a team to finish inside the top 4 or a minor premiership, the Raiders. The Storm, well, they finish in second position, and I feel like, we've spoken a lot about the Storm, and the fact that they finish inside the top 4 year in, year out is just an unbelievable achievement to not only the club, Craig Bellamy, the consistency, the players. They have a winning culture down there in Melbourne. And it'd be great to see from the inside, I think, you know what I mean? Like just to hear some of some of the meetings and how they go about their business, their training and all that sort of stuff, because obviously it clearly works. The Dogs finish in third position. Now, obviously the Dogs season, the back end of the year hasn't been probably as best as they would have liked, but still, hey, a third position on the ladder is an outstanding finish. And I think that's something that, obviously their fans have showed up all year because they've had a lot of success. But an incredible, incredible season, third position for this Dogs team. And they've gotten better, every year as Cameron Ciraldo's come into the competition. So a massive, massive result for them. Obviously, we did mention, I don't think they're playing their best at the moment compared to what they were earlier on in the season. 16 wins, 8 losses. But yeah, a huge season for the Dogs. Anything you add there, Victor?
Yeah, but like you said, I think in Cameron Ciraldo's press conference yesterday, he's like, it's a whole new competition.
Yep.
The boys just need to reset, I think.
Of course.
And it'll be interesting to see how they can kind of bounce back in this season next week. I think they play Storm away.
Yep.
That'll be a huge game.
Yeah, it's a huge game. And I think that's the best thing about finals footy is like, what you've done up until this point doesn't actually matter until now. Like you're at the starting line. You know what I mean? It's a whole new ball game. And we saw obviously the chaos last week with regards to some players getting injured, some getting suspended, or this week, sorry, some players getting injured, some getting suspended. So it's like anything can happen. You know what I mean? It's just you just got to get to the starting line. Yeah. So for the Dogs, I mean, a third position on the ladder. Like if you had said to them at the start of the year, like you guys will finish third, I'm sure they would have taken that 100%. And I think the Storm, that game next week, like obviously with some of the losses the Storm had on the weekend, obviously no Pappenhausen next weekend with concussion, Nelson injured, Jerome Hughes injured. Like they're big outs for Melbourne. Huge outs. So Dogs, potentially will come in on the price. I'm sure. I don't know the betting market there, but
$2.55.
Yeah, there you go
at the moment.
And then we move on to fourth position, the Broncos. I mean, what a back end of the season the Broncos had. Their form, their last 5 games, they're 4-1. An incredible finish to sneak into the top 4. 36 points, 15 wins, 9 losses. And I think there was a time in the season where many were questioning them whether they were going to make the top 8. And obviously that's just what happens when you're in Brisbane. Like you get a lot of scrutiny. Obviously it's the biggest team in Brisbane and their biggest following in Brisbane, and obviously just dominates all the headlines and all the nightly news around sport, the Broncos. And yeah, a great back end of the year. Obviously they'd lost, Ezra Mam, Adam Reynolds to some injuries, Selwyn Cobbo as well, but they've had guys come in. And obviously Reece Walsh has gone to another level since he's had the opportunity to take more of a role. And Billy Walters has done his job. Ben Hunt, I mean, we know what Ben Hunt can do. He's done it for a long time. His creativity's been great for the Broncos since he's worn the number 7. But yeah, look, an excellent finish for the Broncos, finishing 4th. I mean, Michael Maguire's first year in Brisbane, like that's pretty good. That's a big pass. That's a big tick for him.
What do you do if you're Michael Maguire with Mam and Reynolds if they come back?
Yeah, well, I'm here. I mean, you only hear what you read, and if you know not to believe everything you read online in the traditional media. But look, I think Mam is no chance, but I think Adam Reynolds is a chance of coming back at some stage, and I think he comes back into the team. So I think it would just potentially be
Walters out.
Walters goes back to hooker. Reynolds goes to halfback. Ben Hunt goes to 5'8".
Yep.
So it's not a massive reshuffle, but you put Adam Reynolds back into that team straight away. And then one of the Tyson Smoothie, who I think is playing off the bench at hooker, he would probably be the one to miss out,
yep.
I'd say. So Sharks, 5th position, equal points with the Broncos on 36, just on the for and against differential. Broncos have 172, Sharks have 109. So a good result for the Sharks, I think. Fifth position. Yeah, I'm sure they would have liked to finish that in that top 4 spot. 15 wins, 9 losses as well, same as the Broncos. 599 points for, 490 against. home record of 10-2, away record of 5-7, and their last 4 games, they're 3 wins, 1 loss. So a good month for the Sharkies coming into finals. Obviously, they had the bye in there as well. So finishing that 5th position, secure the home final. They play the Roosters week 1, the boys, big game. And with potentially no Nico Hines for your Sharkies, Victor.
Yeah.
Thoughts there?
No comment. We'll get to it with the game. I got a video of it, of the actual hit of the tackle in question. So we'll go over it.
We'll have a look at it in the game. All right. The one-eyed shark supporter has his evidence he's taking to the match tribunal. So we will see how that goes down.
I'll be there outside the courts.
With Victor, the lawyer inflictor, just inflicting pain on the match tribunal. Let's jump on to the next spot. Warriors pushed back to 6. Now, the Warriors spent much of the season inside that top 4. Obviously, the start of the year, they obviously lost that first game to the Raiders in Vegas, copped a lot of criticism. Luke Metcalf then went on another level, was probably the best player in the competition for a good 6 weeks. And then he unfortunately got injured. Obviously, they lost Mitch Barnett as well to an ACL. So 2 massive losses to their key starters in that football side, but they did manage to get to 6th position. 14 wins, 10 losses. I think I think it's a pass for the Warriors, with regards to, I'm sure they believe they could have been a top 4 position. Obviously 2 points, outside that 4, one win, finish back on 34 points. So look, they secure a home final. They play the Panthers. Tough game. I mean, but obviously the Panthers, the ones that have to travel over there, and I don't think the Panthers are a team that really fears anyone. They'll be well prepared, the Panthers, of course, and they beat them earlier in the year with a sort of origin affected rest. So I remember those players couldn't make it over to New Zealand in time, so I haven't had to rest all those players.
Yep.
And then they got the job done, the Panthers over there. So the Warriors, I feel like they've got a couple of guys in that team who have had really good seasons. I think Aaron Clark deserves some credit. He's had a great year. Who else is there? I think Chanel Harris-Tavita's had a good season. Oh. Who else? Obviously, the first season. Halasima. I mean, we've seen what he's been able to do this year. Glimpses of him. He's got a massive future. Who else? I mean, James Fisher-Harris, his first season over there. Capewell went on to play Queensland Origin again. Yep. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck's been really solid. So obviously a number of key players who have delivered for them and got them to 6th position again. It's you're at the starting line. Obviously there's a big difference between top 4 and the bottom 4 with regards to obviously sudden death, 2 bites at the cherry and things like that. But for the Warriors, yeah, that's a good result. The Panthers come in at 7th position, 33 points, 13 wins, 10 losses, 653 points for, 521 against. Home record of 6-6.
That's the Roosters.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. So Panthers home record of 6-6, away record of 7-4, and their last 5 games, they're 2 wins, 3 losses. Obviously, had those golden point losses, 2 back-to-back golden point losses in a row for the Panthers. And this is probably their lowest ladder position since 2019.
They had a tough run home.
And you know who the Panthers' last semi-final loss was against?
Sharkies.
Do you know who was playing?
Your boy.
Your boy.
Your boy.
Your boy had a game that night.
Had a game.
I did.
Yeah, it was
Scored
20.
a try, kicked a field goal. We won 21-20.
Yep.
That's bloody 6 years ago.
That was the last time the Penrith won 6 years ago.
That's insane, man. That feels like yesterday. 2019. 2019, man.
That's wild.
Or was it 2018?
I think it was 2018.
No, it was 2018.
Because we talked about it last week.
7 years ago.
Yeah. How's that feel?
That feels crazy, man. That feels like yesterday.
Shit.
Honestly. I put that highlight on, it was in last week's podcast, actually, the top 5, I think it was my top 5 tries or top 5 moments in games, and that one was cool. It was at Allianz Stadium. Fafita set us up for a try, and
yeah,
good times.
Yeah.
good times. But yeah, obviously the Panthers have been super successful over the past, six years, and a different kind of, I guess, road for them now in the 2025 season. Obviously, they've done extremely well to still win the last 4 years in a row with the players they've lost. Obviously, their first season without, Jerome Luai and Fisher Harris this year. They had a stack of injuries at the start of the year, obviously leaking a lot of points in the first half of the season. Then what round was it? They were in last position? Was it like round 15 or round 12?
I'll go back.
And they were in last position on the ladder, like absolutely insane. Obviously a lot of people are sort of writing them off. And we sat here in this podcast studio and we weren't prepared to write them off.
Should we find the clip? Find the clip.
We'll find the clip and see if we can.
Round 12.
Round 12, they were in last position. Then they won 9 in a row. And I remember talking to Scotty Sorensen, and he was just saying that they were just like literally the old cliche, 1 week at a time, get us to where we need to get to. And obviously they got there. So in 7th position now, they go to New Zealand.
In round 12 on Sportsbet, they were paying $7 to win the comp still in last place.
In last position. Whoa, that's crazy. That's insane, man. That's insane.
So good.
And then to round out the top 8th position, the Roosters, the boys, 32 points, 13 wins, 11 losses, 653 for, 521 against, a differential of 132. They're 4-1. The boys are 4-1 in the last 5 games. They obviously play Cronulla, the Sharks, at Shark Park this Saturday night. So
definitely the informed team coming into finals. What have you seen from the camp in the last month or two?
Yeah, I just think the training intensity's been excellent. I think the preparation's been great, and I think Robbo's done a very good job at understanding what the team needs, with regards to training and time off and preparation, and obviously they know what they're doing. This is not foreign to them. This position, playing in finals and preparing and needing to win games in big moments, and obviously the form on the field, the connection off the field is great, and that's transferred to form on the field because. The boys are hanging out a lot at the moment together. Guys are playing their best football. You look at Mark. Mark's just pretty much unguardable at the moment.
7 tries in 2 games, was it?
If you kick to Mark, you're better off trying to give a penalty away and stopping him than letting him catch the ball because my boy's going to jump up and, he's going to catch the ball and score. And then if you think you can't do it to Mark, Sammy Walks just goes to the other side and he goes to Toops. How can he stop that?
Yeah.
They're both wingers, Sharks wingers, guaranteed they'll be training and they'll be practicing their catching on the high balls this weekend. So obviously, the Roosters, the boys, done a great job, tremendous job. Yeah, very, very happy for the boys. And obviously, to miss out on the 8, the Dolphins, they finish on 30 points. The Sea Eagles finish on 30 points. So they were kind of the 2 teams that were potentially in the running. That top 10 sort of sorted itself out once the Roosters won on Friday night against South Sydney. So, and then to round out, I guess, the rest of the ladder, in 11th position, the Eels, they... in a bit of a rebuild, had a great back end of the season. They finished with their form. They won 4 of their last 5 games. So, a big finish for the Eels. I think they'll take a lot of confidence into next season. Yep. With some of their players obviously moving on from Dylan Brown and, a couple other players leaving, Sean Lane retiring. But I feel like they've got a good young core there of players. Obviously the form of Mitch Moses has been pretty good. He's the one that sort of glues this team together. And then the Cowboys, a disappointing season for the Cows. I thought defensively they just weren't where they needed to be. Against 684 points against, which is the second worst defense in the competition. So the Titans had only worse, 719, and then the Cows second worst, 684 points against. So you know what they'll be doing in the off-season? Defense.
Working on that defense.
Tackling. Contact, wrestle, all that fun stuff. Oh man, that's not a fun place to be. I'll tell you that for free. Jeez. And these teams that are finished now, they'll already have their dates locked in to what dates they're returning. Because
when will that be?
Well, it's going to be around mid-November. Yeah, I'd say
quick
probably
turnaround. Hey,
probably around the 10th to the 15th of November. They'll be back training. They'll be running their Broncos. They'll be running their yo-yos. They'll be doing defense. Well, that's a good 6 weeks before Christmas. Like, man, that is it's too long. You don't need more than 4 weeks before Christmas. In the ideal is like 3 weeks. Give me 3 weeks before Christmas, then 2 weeks off at Christmas, then I'm back. Yeah. And 6 weeks before Christmas is like, man, it's burnout time, burnout stages. Like it is preseasons. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. Honestly, there's things that I'll miss, but preseason and just defense and tackling and getting hit. Oh my God. At my age now, like when I was younger, you just don't even second guess it. Like it's just part of it. You know what I mean? It's just like there's no actual issues with any of that. But it's not until you actually get older you get a little bit banged up. Like my body's in pretty good nick, but it's just like you get a little bit banged up here and there, and it's just like, man, like this. Like I'm over 30. This guy's like 19, and he's just got, like I compare it to when you're a kid and like I don't know, you're 12 or something. And like how easy you could just jump a fence.
Yeah.
You just like saw a fence and like, I don't know, someone was chasing you, could just jump a fence or you could climb a tree or whatever. You imagine like climbing a tree or jumping a fence now.
I reckon I still got it.
You probably can. You probably could because of your stature. But like if I was to jump a fence or climb a tree, I'm like, I can't do that.
I got it. I haven't got it in.
I haven't got that in me. Oh man. Anyway, I'm getting off topic a bit, but I'm just ranting.
When did it hit you? When you were like, shit,
I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, halfbacks. I mean, we don't really get paid for our defense anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like last year, preseason last year. Yeah.
Still at Cowboys.
Still at Cows. Yeah.
Okay.
My last preseason at the Cows, I was like, man, this is getting a bit much for me.
Yeah.
That's why I almost retired last year. But then I was like, nah, I'll keep going. Anyway, let's round out the bottom five on the ladder for 2025. And this is a spot where you don't want to be. The bottom five. 13th position, the Tigers. 9 wins, 15 losses. Rabbitohs, same. In 14th, 9 wins, 15 losses. The Dragons, well, they had 8 wins, 16 losses. They won 1 of their last 5 games, the Dragons. The Titans, 17th on 6 wins, 18 losses. They won 1 of their last 5 games. Obviously, it was that last game against the Tigers. And the Wooden Spooners of the 2025 season, the Newcastle Knights. There we go. The Wooden Spoon graphic. Did you actually just make that? Because that's crazy.
I found that on Reddit.
All right. We got to give some credit to Reddit. Your 2025 Wooden Spooners. Adam O'Brien. Is that all the years they've won the Wooden Spoon, the Newcastle Knights? Jeez, 2005, 2015, 15, 16, 17. 3 spoons in a row. That's crazy. And 2025. I mean, you know what? That's one award I never got. Never got the Wooden Spoon. I'm very proud of that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What happens when you do win the Wooden Spoon?
You know what?
As a team?
Absolutely nothing. You don't get a wooden spoon. Like, there's no like someone gives you a spoon and they just give it to you. It's more like everyone else just piles shit on you.
Yeah.
On social media and in the media. And like no one, I'm sure no one speaks about it, but yeah, it's not like you get an award. It's just like, this is the kind of graphic and stuff that you see and you just like, yeah, it's more like the club gets paid. Like it's like Newcastle Knights, right? It's like there's no player that's like, oh, you know, player X, like you got the wooden spoon. It's more like the Newcastle Knights got the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good graphic and a good question. That's AI for sure. It has to be AI.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah, I thought you just quickly ChatGPT.
No way.
Victor, the AI guru. Anyway, that's That's it. That's the season. I mean, I'd love to know if anyone has any comments or questions about the ladder or your team, where they finished, what they need to improve for next season. I'd love to hear about it. Drop us a comment below on here on YouTube. Obviously, we've got a stack of podcasts and content, coming on this channel. So, we'd love to hear about it, love to speak to you guys, answer your questions, get you guys involved in the show wherever we can. Now we're going to move on, just going to wrap up some of the weekend's games. Obviously, like I said at the top of the show, some games meant everything, some games meant nothing. So we are going to have a quick look. I mean, we don't need to go into too much, obviously, detail because, the main focus now is on the finals games. But anyway, we will jump into the first game from Thursday night. Broncos 30, Storm 14. Storm weren't great in this game. Obviously lost, some notable players for the final series, or at least week one. Ryan Pappenhausen fouled his concussion. Obviously, that Jerome Hughes wrist injury, it did not look great as he sort of skipped across field and then went to pass. He was just looking absolute agony. Obviously, just coming back from that shoulder injury, and the talk around it was that they were going to give him 1 week to sort of come back in before the finals. But obviously, gets an injury and now potentially out for, I'm not sure how long. Victor, do we have anything on that? And then Nelson suspended for that hit on, I think it was Ben Tolte, it was. Sort of dipped the shoulder and put a lot of force into that hit. Hit him high, so he's going to be suspended and miss some game time as well. And the Storm, they completed 71% on 14 errors. And they weren't at their best, the Storm. But for the Broncos, they were excellent. And obviously, the Storm have a great record against the Broncos. But on the back of the toilet drinking water situation from Walshy last week, I mean, didn't that get blown out of proportion?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's actually doing there? Like, why do people really care and blow up that stuff?
After realizing that they were the ones that installed the actual toilet, it's like,
man, it was just like, I don't know what's actually doing. Like, the Broncos put a statement out. Like, who cares?
How good was the celebration, but that went kind of hard, yeah.
Yeah. No, good on him, man. He's sort of playing on it a bit. I like it.
How is it like defending Reece Walsh?
Yeah, it's scary. When you're one-on-one with someone, like if you're one-on-one with anyone, it's hard. If like you're running at me, you have the upper hand. Like I can tackle you. Obviously, if you've got numbers around you, it's much easier but if you're one-on-one, you're a lot vulnerable. And Walsh is so fast. Like you see when he sweeps out the back of his shapes, especially going to his left. Like his left is his favorite side of the field. He gets out and he just takes off. And a lot of the time at halfback position, like you got to check your back rower. So the back rower is running the lead on your inside shoulder. You got to check because if they play short, you got to step into the back rower. But then they play out the back. You got to get off him and then go to Walshy. And a lot of the times he's already on the outside of you. So you're having to just check him, get off your outs, then push off your inside foot, go at Walshy, and then if you go too hard, he'll cut you with the left foot. But if you don't go hard enough, he'll beat you on the outside. He'll get to the next defender. He'll create the extra man. He'll play short or he'll play long. And he's got the kit bag. He's got short, he's got long, he's got footwork. Like he's got the full package. And that's what is the most dangerous thing about when he has the ball is that the threats are like there's certain players or certain fullbacks, I'm not going to name names, who don't have the full package, who don't have a long pass, but have got great footwork and great running. Some are more ball playing than runners. So there's a bit of detail around that. Obviously, that's how you kind of game plan when you try and defend a guy like Reece Walsh. But his stats on the weekend, he had 2 tries, 133 metres, 1 try assist, 1 line break assist. And I've said it constantly since Adam Reynolds and Ezra Mam have been out. He has gone to another level. And it's because he's had more of more impact, more responsibility. He's kicking the ball more. He's going for 40-20s. He's getting in attacking positions where he is having more touches of the ball. And I like it. And if I'm the Broncos, I am taking note of that. And then when Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt retire next season after next year. You think that's going to happen? You bring in a guy who's going to service Reece Walsh and let Reece Walsh take control of that football team. So I think the biggest thing for the Broncos is probably going to be, I mean, this guy's an absolute superstar. You know what I mean? He just runs his own race, which is great. I love Walshy. He's full of personality, but it's like managing that is probably going to be their thing that they can focus on.
Keeping their name out of the news.
Oh, like not so much keeping their name out of the news, but it's like this guy is like, he probably can't walk down the street without like people like asking for thousands of photos and getting mugged. Like, you know, he's an absolute superstar. Everywhere he goes, like people are going to be wanting to do stuff with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by the Broncos, you know, having their hands full, which is great because he's the guy that people buy tickets because of guys like Reece Walsh. You know what I mean? And obviously like the toilet situation, like that blew up way out of proportion because it was Reece Walsh. Like who actually cares if he's drinking toilet water or not? Like, so.
Update on Hughes, he's going for scans,
Mm-hmm.
but Bellamy says it's probably the worst.
Oh, jeez. It's not
in
great.
the presser, so yeah.
That means it may be like fractured wrist, which probably means like season over and operation and cast.
Yeah, I think it could be season over.
Obviously, he's got New Zealand at the end of the season as well, which is just devastating. So, yeah, obviously, you know, fingers crossed for him, and hopefully he gets some good news. But obviously, the Storm as well. That's then put some interesting decisions around, like Jonah Pezzett, Tyron Wishart. Obviously, some selections there. I like Pezzett. I'm going Pezzett 7, Wishart to 14, Pezzett, Munster 6 and 7. Fullback, either you got Farlongo or Nick Meaney.
Yep.
So obviously some selections there. I really like Farlongo. I'm a big fan of him, but I just think for this game, like I'm going Meaney. I'm going the steady hand.
Yep. You're putting Farlongo on the wing?
That's another good question. Who are they playing? They're playing the Dogs. Kiraz is out. Yeah, well, I mean, it's Kane Bradley or it's Farlongo, so... Yeah.
Oh, it'd probably be Kane Bradley in the
It
centres.
depends. Just if Kiraz was playing, they'd probably kick to Kiraz on Farlongo, and then you got Kane Bradley, who's great in the air. So that sort of cancels that out. It depends on the matchup. We'll see how they I'm sure they'll both be in the 22 or whatever it is. Let's move on. Next game of the weekend. Manly. Sorry. No, it was Roosters. No, wait. Manly. 27. Warriors.
Yeah, it was Manly.
Manly 27. Warriors 26.
You had it right.
Sorry about that. What about the start of this game? Absolutely crazy. James Fisher-Harris scores a try in the first 8 seconds of the game off the kickoff. Absolutely crazy, crazy scenes. I mean, have you seen anything like that in your life? Literally off the kickoff.
DC's just kind of watch the ball bounce, right?
Watches the ball bounce. So Fisher-Harris scores within the first 8 seconds, but then Manly able to bounce back and go bang, bang, bang with tries in the 4th, 9th and 15th minute at Brookvale, and it was absolutely rocking at Brookvale. Obviously, Daly Cherry-Evans' last ever game for Manly after a 15-year career for the Sea Eagles. Obviously, been a great servant for that club, premiership winner, club captain. Has yet to announce what he's up to next season, but I'm pretty sure we all know what's going on there. And the Warriors, well, they fought back. They fought hard. They scored some late tries in the 72nd and 79th minute. 16 errors and 14 errors, like 30 errors in this game. So there was like quite a lot. And over the course of the whole weekend, to be honest, it was pretty much error central. All the completion rates were horrible except the Sharks. Sharks were outstanding, which we'll get to. Roger was great for the Warriors, had high impact, high involvement. But the night obviously went to Daly Cherry-Evans and the Manly Sea Eagles, who, in Cherry-Evans fashion, kicked a left foot field goal at the back end of the game to go up 7. Then the Warriors did score late, but it was all over. So, you know, a huge result for Cherry-Evans. A great way for him to finish with his family and friends. Obviously, the last game and the scenes out of that were great. That's what you love to see. You know, finishing up at a club. So we're on to Manly, we're on to DCE. Some time off now. Jake Duke, Fox reporter, asked him actually in the post game, did you see that, what he was up to? And he's like, I'm going to take my family on holiday. He gave him absolutely nothing. So, interesting to see when all that stuff comes out and whatever it is. But anyway, let's move on. Next game, Roosters 36, South 6. The arch rivals.
The
Derby, the local derby. Is it Derby or Derby?
Derby.
Derby.
Yep.
The local derby.
Local derby.
So some news on this game actually. I was on the vlog.
The ChADMIN.
Oh no. Oh, you better put that clip up. Let's put the clip up if we can get it.
The Graham clip, yeah.
Yeah. So
get it.
The ChADMIN, the social team at the Roosters are absolutely, man, they're crack up. They're great dudes. Got an awesome crew there, and they do some awesome stuff. Oh my gosh, they do some great stuff, and I love how they put themselves out there, and they're very wary of the history of the club, but also they push the boundaries and things like that, which is great. You know what I mean? And the fans obviously love it. But I was going to the game obviously to support the boys, and I took my camera and I was like, you know what? Stuff it. I'm taking my camera today. I'm just going to film around a few things, and the vlog, which will probably be out Tuesday night on YouTube. So tomorrow night.
I'm keen for that one.
On YouTube. It's got my whole day on it. So my early morning, I started very early. I went for a run with my mates because the non-players had training that morning, but I had a Father's Day breakfast at school. So I got the morning off to go to my kids' school, and I ended up doing some training, went for a run early in the morning just to tick the legs over. So I am still training actually at the moment.
When you say early, let them know how early.
Oh, so I was up at 4:10, ran at 4:30, swim at 5:30, and then I had 3 coffees. So it was a big morning, big day. But yeah, for anyone who is wondering or asking me, I am still training. I just train to prepare the NRL team with whatever I need to do. So a lot of the time it's on the big main days, the 13 starters play against a team of 13, and we do a scrimmage and scenarios and everything that the Robbo and the coaching staff need. So yeah, helping out wherever I need to with the boys, and obviously still a fan, go out and support the boys. But took the camera, got some great shots, and had a lot of fun on the camera. So that was a highlight for me. Obviously, this derby, you can just see the form goes out the window. The intensity was, the hits in this game just meant a little bit more. You could see, obviously, the Souths, a lot of motivation to try and knock the Roosters over, but the Roosters, obviously, the boys, a lot of motivation to win and secure that top 8 position. Obviously, 4-1 in their last 5 games, going into the finals with some great form. And I still think the boys have improvement in them, to be honest. I still think they left a lot out there. There's 17 errors and 69% completion rate. And I think if we can cut that in half, if those errors are under 10, and that completion rate goes to above 80, that's finals football completion. You can't really, if you play a team next week and have 17 errors and complete 69%, you're more than likely going to lose. That's not finals footy. So I think that's a big work on for the boys, and I think Robbo and the staff and the senior players will have a big say in that on the improvements for this week, which is good. You know what I mean? You obviously want some stuff you can improve on and focus on, and then you execute that at training, you train for it, then you implement it in next week's game. Obviously a huge game. Roosters take on Sharks next week at Shark Park. All right, let's move on to the next game. Panthers 40, Dragons 20. Now, your boy actually went down to this game.
Got some nice seats.
I had a great seat. I was sitting in the Northern Grandstand with my family, obviously watching Uncle Scotty play. Took all my kids down there, and it was one of the first times I've actually been a proper fan and just sat in the stands and just watched the game.
You did say that. Hey, you've never been to an actual NRL game.
Yeah,
until yesterday.
I went and watched one of Scotty's grand finals with the kids a couple of years ago, the one in COVID that was in Brisbane. But yeah, it's very not many times do I just go to the football. Like I had a backpack and like my kids' water bottles and stuff, and like I'm just walking into the game with my tickets,
full
like
dad mode.
Scan the tickets in, and like
Full
like,
dad mode.
I'm in full dad mode. My kids, like I'm holding hands, I'm walking up the stands. I'm sitting in the stands and my kids are going, "Oh, Dad, can I get some chips?" I leave, go down, get some hot chips, come back, give them to the kids, sit back down, watch the footy. I'm watching the footy. Dad, can I have this, that? Yeah, I'll go down and get it again. Like full dad spectator fan mode.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, sitting there with my hat and sunnies on, just minding my own business, watching the game. And like I said, it was in the northern grandstand, so the view was like this, not from side on. So it was actually really cool to watch the game from that point of view, because you see how players can play a bit squarer up the field, and the movements and where I think the ball should be going, and the defenders and the splits of defenders. So I'm sitting there watching the game and things are just ticking over in my mind. I'm going, all right, he's very tight there. He needs to, I take the short side here, play here. And that's just all my great kick, poor kick. Like that's just how my mind's ticking over.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought Nathan Cleary had a great game. He steered the ship, really well. Obviously for the Panthers, they were a little bit clunky, I thought. Obviously they rested Liam Martin again and Brian Toto, which I thought was a great idea for them. Obviously those two guys, the physicality that they play with, an extra week off to rest, obviously after the back of their big season would have been good for them. Obviously played all those 3 Origins for a long time, played a lot of footy over the past couple of years, so freshen them up again. Both teams, the stats were pretty similar with 82% completion. The Panthers had 12 errors and the Dragons had 6 errors. So the Dragons did score a couple of nice tries. They tried hard, I thought, but ultimately 40-20 probably tells the story about how this game was.
What do you think the Dragons need to do for next season, and where do you see they need to improve?
Well, I think the Dragons, I am optimistic for the Dragons just with regards to some of their youngsters, and they may, they've got some good young players far out. ChADMIN boys, Halangahu, I like him. Pacific Tonga Loco, I like him. I like the Dragons, but I think next year maybe they might go, they finished 15th this year, and it might take them next year to keep, to build again. I don't think they finish as low as 15th next year, but they might be pushing for top 8 next year, and then it's the year after that, they potentially could be in the top 8 with some of these young kids they've got, and obviously Flano being signed out, the club's given him the time to develop these guys. So players who they're signing know who the coach is, which I think is a good idea. But these young guys, they kind of need to get to that 50 game mark. You know what I mean? You look at the guys in Canberra now. Ethan Strange, how many games has he played? He's probably played nearly 50. Kaya Weeks, he's probably in and around 50 as well. And now they're really seeing the fruits of the past couple of years of the growth and, the setbacks and the learnings. Because it takes, there's an old saying in the NRL, you're not an NRL player unless you've played 50 games. Because they say that because, you then kind of play your best footy in and around and after that 50 game mark. So the Dragons, I like these kids, man. There's some good young players. And obviously, they've got the experience of Val and Gutho, and obviously they've been hampered by injuries as well this year. So... any update on those?
Strange was on 45 and Weeks is on 52.
Jeez, I'm freaking good.
God, he's good.
Jeez, I'm good. Hopefully, I know what I'm talking about.
What is it about the 52? Oh, the 50 game.
Well, it's just it just gives you that 1 to 2 year, that 2 years. There's 24 games in the season, right? It gives you that 2 years of coming. Very rarely do we see a guy come in and just kill it and then just stay that level. It's they come in Strange. There was times where Strange was out of the team last year. Have a look at him now. So that 50 game threshold kind of gives you those learnings where you come in, you might get a couple of setbacks, and it might take you 2 to 3 years to be a full-time starter, and then you feel comfortable in your team and in your role, and then you go on to to win, and then we're in the business of winning, and then you start winning, you start getting more confident, you start playing better, and that is why that's why they're doing it now. Like Ethan Strange, KO Weeks, like are full of confidence, completely full of confidence at the moment, where, you know, some of those younger guys in the Dragons who are on those, like those, you know, maybe 10, 15 games, are still finding their feet in the NRL, still understanding the pace, the requirements, the physicality. If they make an error, like not going into their head and thinking that they are, you know, or the head noise. Where like once you play 50 and you're comfortable and confident in your position, you know that you're going to get selected in the next week with anything that happens. You don't give a stuff about that. Where some of those younger guys, if they make an error, they're like, far out, you know, I mean, I hope I get picked next week. Like it's a real thing. So, yeah, look, I think they've got it. They'll go up next year. They need to go up next year.
They need to, yeah.
Because they've got good quality there. I like it.
Love it.
Anyway, that was a good little spiel from me. This is
the analyst.
That's good stuff.
The channelist is coming out.
Oh, he's on today. He's on today. Oh, man. Oh, I'm done. Oh, my God. I've lost it. I need to compose myself. Oh, man. We have got ChADMIN, the channelist. Well, I'm having these conversations now. I mean, I need a job next year. Someone hire me. It's
so good.
All right, we've got a couple of games to go.
Titans, Tigers.
Titans 36, Tigers 28. Obviously, Kieran Foran's last game of his NRL career. And the Titans, geez, didn't they just turn this game on its head in the last 20 minutes? They were absolutely incredible to watch the last 20. It made sure that the Titans did not get the wooden spoon, which watching this game, I'm like, I wanted the Titans to win because I was like, part of me just didn't want the Titans to win the wooden spoon. Obviously, there was some feel-good stories with Foran's last game, Des Hasler's last game there. They finished with 68% completion, 14 errors. I mean, we spoke about this weekend and the games. It was just like an attack-a-thon. Obviously, a lot of big scorelines over the course of the weekend, a lot of points. And, I mean, both teams just throwing the ball around at will. I thought AJ Brimson had a great game. And for the Tigers, well, they finished the season with a couple losses on the trot. So, where did the Tigers actually... Oh, I've got it here, sorry. The Tigers finished in 13th position. So we did cover that at the start. 9 wins, 15 losses, and they won 1 of their last 4 games. So
they had a period there where they were just incredible. I think we saw a bit of what we can see next year from the Tigers.
Well, 100%. And let's not forget, this is a team. The Tigers are a team that have won the past couple of wooden spoons in a row. So to finish in 13th position, obviously you're not going to really go from wooden spoon to kind of top 8 next year. That rarely happens. So from 17th to 13th, and then I think next year it's like Benji Marshall needs this team to be, you know, contending for that top 8. And, excuse me, probably that, you know, 5 to 8 spot I see them potentially competing for next year if they're good enough. But you spoke about, Victor, some of the good spots or the good periods they had. The key is, like, you need to be consistent. Like, you can't have really good and really poor. The best teams, like Melbourne, like their consistency, they very rarely drop right down here. They might drop to like here, but they don't go down here. Where the Tigers can be like here or here. Yep. And that's why they are where they are. So they've got some improvement. Obviously, the Titans as well, they finish in 16th position. So, you know, Josh Haney's got a pretty big role there next year coming in. I don't see the Titans going from 16th into the top 8 next year. I kind of see that similar evolution where it's like, you know, competing for like that 8th position or into that sort of 9 to, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12. They need to get, and then the next year it's like, we can go. Yep. Obviously, a lot happening, you know, in the next couple of years with the Bears and PNG and like our content. Plenty happening.
Lots to come.
Lots to come. It's firing me up, to be honest. I'm really, really excited. Obviously,
what do you think the Titans are missing?
Titans are missing a little bit of identity at the moment, I think. you know, I love it when I hear Tino speak. I'm a big Tino guy, and when he sort of spoke about only two people that have been held accountable have been the two coaches, like Des and the last coach, Justin Holbrook. And I think the Titans need a holistic kind of look at how they're doing things. And obviously they've made a stack of changes. They've hired Josh Hannay for next season. They've brought in Scott Sattler to be the GM of football. So there's going to be some tough decisions made. I think Scott he's the right man for the job. He's going to make some huge calls. And he's a Gold Coast man, you know. So I like seeing Gold Coast people involved in the Gold Coast Titans. I'd love to see some of their club legends involved more. Matt Rogers, Luke Bailey, Scott Prince, Nathan Friend. You know, these are all guys, Preston Campbell. These are all guys who, like, when I think of the Titans, I think of those guys. Greg Bird's another one, you know. Anthony Frankie, he's there, but I'm not sure what role he's in. But you just love to see guys who are who bled for the game, who are the good ones, you know, who bled for the team and the badge, who actually have affiliation and love for the area and want to see it improve. So, yeah, let's move on to the next game. Sharks 24-6. Your boys, 95% completion. We spoke about that at the top of the show. 44 of 46. That's finals footy, Victor.
That was finals footy.
If you play like that next week or any week over the next couple of weeks, you're pretty much going to win the game. The Sharkies were on in this game. Defensively, they were great as well. I thought Billy Burns was good for the Sharks. He scored a great try. I think he's done a tremendous job in the absence of Britt Nakora over the past couple of weeks. Britt is set to come back this week. You think Billy Burns potentially goes back to the bench. Britt goes straight into that starting spot. Dan Atkinson gets his first starting time for quite a couple of weeks. He played for Trindle, who was sitting in the coach's box, I saw, actually. But I thought he had some nice touches, threw some nice passes. Dan Atkinson obviously going to the Dragons next year. Yeah. So to play a bit more of a role there. And Nico Hines, obviously that suspension hanging over the head. What are your thoughts as a Sharkies fan? Any thoughts on that as a fan? Like, does he deserve his suspension or?
I don't think his hips fully got under him. Like from the video.
You got the video?
I think I got the video.
Don't act like you don't have the video.
I got the video.
Oh, right. Of course he does. He's trying to prove. He's on the free Nico page. Here we go.
I don't know when the technique of tackling someone from behind or the side changed. That was a simple right shoulder, cut him in half tackle. But the hip drops happen when the defenders lose their legs. Nico loses his legs, and then momentum brings him down.
Well, he chose from using his shoulder, coming in like you said, to using his hands around his hips and drop. Like, it's obvious.
I think you got to, when these sort of situations happen, Montoya came back on the inside of Katoa. So the fact that it looked like Montoya was going to go on the outside of Katoa and then step back on the inside probably changed his tackle last minute right there, and he just swings around. And the fact that he hit him with his knee, does that make a difference in terms of the hip drop? So the thing that Nico has in his favour is it's a grade 2. If he can convince the panel that it's a grade 1 and it's equivalent to some of the other grade 1s that have been charged, then it can be downgraded to a grade 1, therefore it's a fine.
That's... Yeah, I mean, like, he doesn't land hips on foot, but I think his momentum is swinging around him. That's my biggest thing. I think he's swinging around him because of...
Yeah. There's not much in it, all right? There's not much in it at all.
I think it could be downgraded.
I think it could be downgraded. I sit on SEN yesterday. I worked on the radio, and Jimmy Smith asked me what I thought, and I think it's worth the Sharks to fight it. Yep. If I'm... Like, it's sudden death. If we can get this guy off... I mean, if he's not there and they lose, like, it's season over.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, obviously, it's not sure of the injury to Marcelo. I'm pretty sure, like, he's in the Cameron Ciraldo said
it's not looking good.
It's not looking good, but I don't know. I don't know what that means, because coaches, as we know, don't always tell the truth, and sometimes they say things to, you know, potentially make it a bit more dramatic than it actually is. But obviously, you know, we hope for the best for Marcelo, and hopefully it's not too serious and he can play next weekend.
When coaches do keep their hands to their cards to their chest, does that affect the game plan of the opponent?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. coaches don't want to give too much away, whether it's lineup, team, tactics, or what certain players might say in the media. They want to try and control as much of the narrative as they can. So that's why they might say something or not say something, if that makes sense. Anyway, for the Dogs, well, obviously they lost Bronson Cherry very early in this game to a concussion category 1, so he won't be available for next week. That then forced a reshuffle to their lineup. Reid Marnie pretty much came on straight away, would play out the rest of the game. Bailey Hayward was moved into the halves and Matt Burton into the centres. So a little bit of a reshuffle for the Dogs. And Anari Tawala, he had a nice game for the Bulldogs. He had a lot of toe, actually, more toe than I thought.
He's quick.
It was a great try from him. But ultimately, I just think the Dogs' defence probably wasn't where it needed to be and where it has been at the start of the season. I don't think defensively they were up to what they did, and it felt like the Sharks just kind of strangled them with their completion rate. Obviously, that 95%, 44 or 46 is absolutely tremendous. So just the ability to just stay in the grind and keep kicking the ball back to them and not necessarily, obviously, not making errors.
Yep.
So good result for the Sharks. Interesting to see what happens with Nico and the match review committee if that gets downgraded. Victor's put his hand up. He's going to go in there as the lawyer. As Nico's lawyer. Nico's lawyer. But yeah, we move on to the Dolphins Raiders game. 64-24. Points central in this game. Obviously, Raiders resting absolutely everyone in this game pretty much except Horsburgh and Tamale and Morgan Smithies as well. So like 3 guys out of their starters that were playing. This game was pretty much, it was 30-0 at halftime. Mark Nichols as well, his last game in the NRL retiring. Has had a great career, Mark Nichols.
Scored a try on his first
Scored
touch
a try on his first absolute touch. Wasn't that great?
That was nice.
Nicarima back through the middle, and then Nichols scored next to the post. I actually called this game on SEN. It was excellent. Actually had a great day on SEN. Loving my time on the radio at the moment. Trey Fuller, I thought he was great at fullback. He made a real difference to the Dolphins. The only sort of bad thing for the Dolphins in this game was like the Hamaso injury. It looked like a knee injury. It looked like a medial injury. Not sure of the severity. He obviously walked off. He was seen after he walked off back on the bench with ice on his knee. So the ice on the knee, like if that was an ACL, he wouldn't be there. He'd be in the sheds. Excuse me. So it seems to be it was a MCL injury, which is the medial. And obviously I don't think he has elected his nation for the end of the year, either at Tonga or Australia. Jeez, I'd love to see him play for Australia.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, we'll see with that. Happens.
He was looking on to score five tries.
He was in a mood, and he finished one back from Mark now.
Yeah.
23-22. Yeah. He's got a hat trick last night. He could have scored again. I reckon
he could have scored twice.
If he stayed on,
because I think he had 27 minutes to go.
Yeah.
When he went off.
Anyway. Yeah. I remember we were talking about Jimmy was obviously like, he's coming, Mark. No one I need to say. But yeah, it was hope he's all right. And then for the Raiders rookies, well, Ricky was pretty disappointed in the press conference that he wasn't up to standard for the Raiders. Joe Roddy scored a double on his debut. Had a little bit of Hudson Young about him, young Joe Roddy. He looked great. Noel Martin scored a nice try off a great short pass from Ethan Sanders. Obviously, the Raiders getting a look into the future with a lot of their players. More notably, I think, Owen Paddy, he had some nice touches and some nice runs, but Ethan Sanders as well. Obviously, with Fogarty moving to the Sea Eagles next season, Ethan Sanders is going to be their starting halfback next year. He's got a great build about him, good demeanour, good kicking game. That short pass he threw to Noel Martin, he's obviously still building and finding his feet in the game. And I don't think, obviously Fogarty leaving next year is going to leave quite a hole for them, but I don't think they should judge Sanders early. Give this kid time because he's got a big future in front of him. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. It was Eels.
Eels nice, but a question on the Dolphins. What's that back line for you? Do you think Trey Fuller stays?
You know what? This is probably one of the most hotly contested back lines in 2026. Because you've got Cobbo, you've got Jack Bostock, you've got Trey Fuller, you've got Hammer, you've got Jermaine Asako, you've got Herbie Farnworth, and you've got Jake Averillo.
Yep.
There's 7 guys to go into 5 spots. And then you've got young Nafahu, who played on the weekend, who played great. He had like 150 metres at half time. So there's 8 guys, right? They go into 5 spots. So 3 guys are missing out.
What's your back 5?
So my back 5 is Hammer, fullback.
Fullback, yep.
Bostock. And Farnworth centres. Sorry, Bostock wing, Farnworth centre. Other centre, Cobbo, Azarko.
Yep.
So Nafahu, Trey Fuller, and Averillo miss out. I've got it at the moment.
Yep.
It's tough.
I think you have to.
It's tough, but those guys they'll be in there somewhere at some stage. Like Averillo's a first grader.
Oh yeah,
you know
he's been killing it this year as well.
But obviously, I just think with those 5, like the contracts you're paying those guys, they'll be starting round 1. They're the starters, and then if something happens, form, suspension, whatever, one of these 3 guys will go in.
Yep.
But I'm starting Hammer. I'm putting Hammer back to fullback, and then we're moving on with that.
Yeah, moving on with that.
All right, last game of the weekend: Eels versus Knights. Now, the Knights, it was the simple equation. This game meant everything to them. Win and we don't get the wooden spoon. And unfortunately, that's not what happened. Absolute shellacking at the hands of Parramatta Eels. Yeah. Defence was not the greatest subject in this game. Obviously, Mitchell Moses, absolute masterclass. The Fox, Josh Adokar, another one. This young Eels team, they reaped in some form in the past 5 weeks. I think they were 4 wins, 1 loss in their last 5 games.
Yep, that's correct.
And we've spoken highly about this Parramatta side and their finish to the season. Obviously, in a bit of a rebuild season, first year under Jason Riles, I think they're still building at the moment with regards to, what they can do. Obviously, to score 66 points against anyone is absolutely crazy. Yeah. But some big performances, some big takeaways from Parramatta this season. I mean, Iongi, absolutely outstanding this season. Jermaine Hobgood, another one. Jack Williams. I think Jack Williams has played some of his best football of his career.
How good's he been?
Really found a home at Parramatta. So happy for Big Jackie. Dylan Walker's been a great addition to their side. Riley Smith's done some great things. Yep. So this Parramatta team, I think they'll be knocking on the door of the top 8 next year. I mean, the top 8, it's a tough one to predict next year.
It's getting tight.
And it's getting the game, like we talk about this year is wide open. Like, it's just going to stay wide open, I reckon, which is great.
Yep.
Great for fans, and we might see some guys win the comp who haven't really won the comp over the last 5 years, potentially. But for the Knights, I mean, there wasn't really much to really cheer about for the Knights, was there?
No.
In this weekend or this season. 39% of the ball. So they barely touched the ball. That's absolutely... I don't think I've seen that stat as low all season. 39% of the ball. That just means you're doing all the tackling. And obviously there wasn't much tackling happening because they conceded 66 points. And I think it's just what happens when you're in a bit of a rut. Like, your confidence is down. You just want the season to be over. And it was clear that they thought the same thing. They just wanted it over.
New coach next year. So just a reset for the Knights.
Big reset. Their coaching decision has yet to be made, but needs to be made swiftly because that coach needs to get to work.
Their preseason's going to start earlier.
Preseason's going to start around that mid-November, early November for their youngsters. And
for him, he'll start tomorrow.
As soon as that coach gets signed and announced, it's preseason's going to start the next day for him. He's not going to have an off-season. He's got a big job ahead of him. But look, there's some good people at the Knights. Peter Parra, Chris James in charge of their football. And it's a good town. I mean, this is a town like last week, they were sold out. So they've got great fans. They've got everything there to succeed. They just need that on-field success. Yep. And look, you look at some of their players, they've got some good players. They have had some injuries this year, but obviously a lot to work on for the Knights. All right, let's move on to, we're going to do Team of the Year. So your boys put together his team of the year, and I want to get your thoughts on this team while I read out the starting 13. Fullback, James Tedesco. On the wings, we've got Mark Nawanga-Nitawase and Xavier Coates. In the centres, we've got Tolu Koula and Stephen Crichton. In the halves, I've got some absolutely dynamic youngsters. Ethan Strange and Isaiah Katoa in the halves. In the front row, I've got Payne Haas and Nafahu White with Blake Brayley at hooker for the team of the year. And in the back row, Hudson Young, Eli Katoa, and at lock forward, rewarding him for some fantastic form back at the New Zealand Warriors, Aaron Clark. So the starting 13, that's my team of the year. I need to know your thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Who would you take out? Who would you put in? Leave us a comment. Let us know who you're thinking. But well done to these guys. I think they've all had tremendous years, and that's my starting 13. What are your thoughts on this?
I love that.
Love the 13?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some good youngsters there, isn't there?
Oh,
some
Katoa and Strange, man.
Some great youngsters. Yeah. So really well done to, these boys. Let's move on. Fan questions. What do we got?
Got a couple. Are you worried about diving creeping into the NRL? What can we do to stop blokes diving?
I'm not worried about diving, no, but I think people are starting to see what is and what isn't dive. And I think if you want to be a guy who dives, you'll get quickly found out. Because I think there's a difference between diving but also doing anything to win. Because as footy players, like, we're not told to take a dive or to stay down. But in saying that, we're told to do anything to win. So it's like there is a fine line between diving, but also if I feel like I've been hit high, well, like, I'll back myself to say I've been hit high. And whether you think it's been soft or what, or not, like, I'll feel like I can get a penalty because I feel like I've been done wrong.
I think the greatest example is that Harry Grant dive, or in quotations, dive against Panthers the other week.
Yeah, so I think he played for it.
Yeah, playing for it.
But that's playing to win.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have done the same thing.
Yep.
If I was in Harry Grant's position, 100%. Moses Leota gave him the chance to do that. So you take the opportunity. And if you tell me if any other NRL player was in that position, 100% they're doing the same thing as Harry Grant. If they're smart enough to see that situation. Harry Grant's a smart footballer. He's got a great football IQ. He sees Moses Leota standing where he shouldn't be. I'm going to run into him because he shouldn't be there. Penalty. He knows it's a penalty. So that's where I'm at.
Yep. Last question. It's a long one. You were at the Warriors in 2013. What did you notice is different from then till now? Coaching structure, etc. Because the talent is obviously there back then and it's no different to now. Andrew Webster has managed to unlock these junior talent and turn them into first graders, and the Warriors before couldn't progress them into mainstay NRL starters.
Well, the thing that the Warriors have changed since then to now is they've got an incredible junior program now, and they're getting the fruits of the labour of that, implementing that post-COVID. So obviously the Warriors moved for COVID. You know, their junior pathways were very blocked. Obviously living in Australia, you know, no football in New Zealand. They go back to New Zealand. The country falls in love with them. They implement junior programs to develop juniors, to bring them, give them a clear path to the NRL. They've got SG Ball teams, Jersey Flegg teams, Harold Matthews teams competing in the New South Wales Rugby League competitions. There's kids that are wearing the Warriors jersey from 17 years of age and understanding the requirements and the culture that comes with wearing the logo, and they're getting that into them. And now these kids are growing and growing, and now they're getting to a stage where they're actually knocking on the door and playing NRL. And that's why we're seeing a lot of these youngsters doing that. That's why you see, you know, the likes of Halasima and Jacob Laban, and there's a couple others there as well who would have come through their junior pathways and they're reaping the benefits. So that's what it is. It's just give kids a chance to develop, wear the jersey, and then you mix that with some guys, some recruitment guys, some veteran guys, and then you mix veterans' experience with some exciting youngsters and a good coach and a good brand of football that fans love. That's a recipe for success. And that's why the Warriors are where they are right now. Was I just cooking then?
Great answer.
Was I just freaking...
Nice, mate.
I was just cooking.
The channelist. All right.
The channelist. All
That's
right.
it.
You've been good today. I tell you what, today's been a freaking funny episode. Fun episode today. What do we got? We've got some social clips to cut from today.
Put that one in the title, the channelist.
We definitely won't be. All right, that's it. Let's wrap up today's episode because I am just I'm laughing right now.
What?
Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Appreciate your support here on the channel. If you enjoy the episode, make sure you subscribe, like, drop us a comment, and if you listen on the audio, leave us a rate and review. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Let's go.